Basketball has always been America's game. Invented in Massachusetts by Dr. James Naismith, a Canadian ironically, it was in the United States where the sport evolved into a cultural phenomenon and a global powerhouse. For decades, no one could touch American dominance on the basketball court. From the early Olympic teams that wiped the floor with opponents to the iconic Dream Team of 1992, the US stood on a pedestal of athleticism, skill, and depth. The whole world watched in awe as American players showcased what the game could be. But in recent years, the NBA has become a global league. International players are no longer just rare additions to rosters, they are some of the brightest stars in the game. They are MVPs, All-Stars, and franchise cornerstones. In fact, it's actually been 7 years since an American player won the MVP award. Just think about that for a second. All of these great international players flowing into the league has come to highlight one region deep in Europe that excels at producing basketball talent. What makes this really interesting though is the fact that this region, now made up of multiple countries which players like Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic come from, actually used to be one country. This country used to be known as Yugoslavia, and believe it or not, it's a region with a history of basketball success only beaten by America, and a talent pool that has only grown stronger over time. If Yugoslavia were still a single nation today, its national basketball team could maybe even beat Team USA on the world stage. Before we get into hypotheticals in the modern era though, let's explore some of the history of Yugoslavia and its basketball program. Yugoslavia was a country in southeastern Europe that little Americans knew about during the NBA's formative years all the way up until the 90s. It was a country made up of other countries, and these countries were filled with people who spoke different languages, followed other religions, and had entirely different cultures. In order to keep all of these different people unified, a man named Josip Broz Tito, who ruled the nation from 1939 all the way until his death in 1980, needed to look towards the good old USA for a reason that may surprise you. You see, Tito was a huge fan of how America was able to take in people from all over the world and generally got them to cooperate with each other. Old Tito was convinced that America's focus on sports as a nation was a huge reason for this. While Yugoslavia already had a thriving soccer scene, in the 1950s, Tito looked at basketball in America, a game that was bringing together black and white Americans in an era when it seemed completely against the odds. He actually took such a liking to basketball that the government of Yugoslavia began to promote it heavily almost everywhere in the country. His government even set up a Yugoslavian basketball league that was directly modeled on the NBA. He saw this as a way for all of the very different people living under his government to compete with each other and have national or regional pride in a healthy way. Similar to how people from different American cities or states have a sense of healthy competition in sports. He didn't stop there though. Taking after America's example, Tito started pouring money and resources into promoting sports in schools throughout the different regions. The country had begun to produce some amazing athletes in the soccer world, but most importantly for this channel, the basketball world. In the 80s, Yugoslavia turned into a European basketball powerhouse. The national team was one of the best in the world, winning gold medals at European Championships, World Championships. They even earned silver at the 1988 Olympics, and most importantly, they won the Olympic gold medal in 1980, but America wasn't there. Regardless, they produced players who were among the first to prove that Europeans could compete at the highest levels. Names like Vlade Divac, a former All-Star for the Sacramento Kings, Toni Kukoc, who more than did his part during Jordan's second three-peat, and Drazen Petrovic stand out. Drazen Petrovic in particular is a true legend of European basketball. His shooting ability drew comparisons to the top shooters of the NBA at the time, and on top of that, he was quick and had a fiery passion for the game which led him to never back down. Even in the face of Michael Jordan. He went over to America to play in the NBA after already winning 2 EuroLeague championships by the age of 20. Basically, he was the 80s version of a Luka Doncic type prospect. It took him a few years to get his feet in the NBA, but by his 5th year he was averaging all-star level numbers and his future was looking extremely bright in the NBA. Sadly, Drazen Petrovic had a tragic early death at the age of 28, caused by a car accident in Germany. We never got to see what he could have accomplished in the NBA, but he literally laid the foundation for an entire continent of basketball players to dream big and make the NBA. And in that way, he'll always be remembered. Before him, it was really tough for European players to crack a proper role in the NBA. They were often dismissed as less athletic and less capable than their American counterparts. Petrovic helped shatter that stereotype, showing that Europeans could not only belong in the NBA, but could excel. His impact on the NBA paved the way for future European stars. Players like Dirk Nowitzki, Pau Gasol, and later Luka Doncic owe some of their success to the foundation laid by Petrovic. Today, even if politics have broken up the country, the smaller countries that once made up the much bigger Yugoslavia continue to punch well above their weight in the basketball world. Serbia and Slovenia in particular have become hotbeds of talent. Nikola Jokic, a 3-time NBA MVP from Serbia, is perhaps the best example. Jokic is unlike any center in basketball history. He has the size and strength to dominate inside, but it's his passing, vision, and basketball IQ that really set him apart. He plays the game like a point guard who's trapped in a center's body, orchestrating the Denver Nuggets offense with a level of creativity rarely seen at the position. Then there's Luka Doncic from Slovenia. Luka is a basketball savant. He reads the game like a seasoned veteran, yet he's only in his mid-20s. His ability to score, pass, and control the pace of a game has made him one of the most entertaining and effective players in the NBA. Together, Jokic and Luka represent the pinnacle of basketball talent from the region, but they're far from alone. Players like Bogdan and Bojan Bogdanovic, Jusuf Nurkic, Ivica Zubac, Goran Dragic, and many more have all made their mark in the modern NBA. Beyond individual players, the region continues to produce national teams that succeed on the global stage. Slovenia won Eurobasket in 2017, led by a young Luka Doncic. Serbia regularly contends for medals in international tournaments, and Croatia has a rich history of competitive teams despite its small size. If Yugoslavia still existed today, their national basketball team would be absolutely stacked. A lineup featuring Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic alone already sounds terrifying, but when you start digging deeper, the depth and versatility of this team becomes pretty unreal. Think about it. Luka running the point, Jokic orchestrating the offense from the high post, and guys like Bojan Bogdanovic spacing the floor. Add in players like Ivica Zubac for size and rim protection, and Dario Saric as a high IQ stretch big, and suddenly you've got a pretty scary team. It's more than just talent though. One of Team USA's biggest weaknesses in international play has always been chemistry. The modern Yugoslav squad would thrive in that aspect. They all grow up playing a much more team-oriented, fundamentals-first style of basketball, which has already allowed nations like Spain and Germany to upset the US in recent years. Now imagine that, but with two of the best playmakers in the entire world, Jokic and Luka leading the charge. It's honestly scary how complete this team would be. You've got elite playmaking, size, shooting, and defense, all while playing a style of basketball that has already proven successful against American isolation-heavy teams. Would they beat Team USA? I think they could. With the 2028 Olympics being hosted in Los Angeles, it's hard not to wonder what it might be like with this stacked Yugoslavian team against America on their own home soil. But we'll never get the opportunity, so the most we can do is wonder. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, leaving a comment. Anything helps, and we appreciate absolutely everything. And we'll see you next week.